guys, this is the RetrofloraPodcast. I'm Brenda.
And I'm Charmy, and we're just two crazy sisters with an opinion and a channel.
If you like true crime, conspiracy, and supernatural crap, then this is your channel. Happy Women's History Month!
Woo! We're two women, if you haven't guessed.
Yeah, we're two women. Yay! And also, oh my god, you guys, it's our 1-year anniversary!
Yay!
Can you believe it's been a whole year?
I know, we started this channel last year in March, and
Look at us.
Can't believe we've been this far.
And we didn't give up. I'm proud of us because we could have easily been like, we're not doing this anymore. Like, it's a lot of work that goes into this.
And we want to thank everyone who subscribed, all our followers.
Guys. We could not do this without you guys.
Without you, we'd be nothing.
Literally, seriously, just two sisters with a mic.
Yeah.
So today I was like going on this Reddit deep dive. Well, not Reddit deep dive. I should say Reddit rabbit hole, because that's what happens. And I found this creepy story in the No Sleep Reddit thread. So I figured we might share it because it's really creepy. Well, it's not creepy, but yeah, it kind of is creepy. It's well written too. And it is by World Away Tweety.
Let's start this.
I am a low-level U.S. government employee, and I just saw something I wasn't supposed to see. You know that meme about presidents and governors after getting elected look super shell-shocked and stressed the next time they make a public appearance? Like, the first thing that happens after you come into power is that you're pulled into a room and told all the secrets of the world. Well, it turns out it's true. As a matter of fact, it's a VH tape. The 4-hour tape will always be a bit of an urban legend at the office. I'll be keeping the details of my role in the government very, very vague. But to be absolutely clear, I am a very low level. My role is caked between layers of bureaucracy, and in the grand scheme of things, it's a pretty inconsequential role. When you're working at my level, you're generally not privy to any higher level secrets. Yes, top secret meetings did occasionally happen in our building, but my focus is pretty limited and heavily administrative. You do whatever any other department does when you're in the bottom rung of the hierarchy. You discuss rumors, ramblings, crazy conspiracy theories, and everything in between. It's a watercolor conversation for us. Man, I wonder what the folks at the top are doing right now. That kind of stuff. Out of all the rumors that fluttered around the office, the 4-hour tape was always the one that I found most fascinating. The crux of it is, once you reach the highest level clearance, you are sat down and shown this tape. None of us knew what the contents of the tape were, or if a tape like this actually existed. But it was fun to speculate about it every now and then. Most of the time, we found our little rumors and conspiracy theories that the most mundane answer was usually the correct one. Life in general finds a way to surprise us with how boring everything can be. Now, there's something you should know about me before I continue. I'm a wimp. I'm meek, anxious, and generally restless. I'm a chronic rule follower. There is no part of me that wants to dig up secret documents and uncover the truth about what's at the highest level of the government in our country. So when I discuss the events of 4 nights ago, please be mindful that I didn't ask for this. I'm only sharing because I don't know how much time I have left anyways. And I can't live what's stuck in my conscience alone.
You want to share it with us?
Yep. It's like the movie Truth or Dare. She's like, yeah, so I'm just gonna share it with the entire world, y'all.
That's why that movie sucked.
That movie creeps me out. Their smiles are not okay. It was nighttime at the office. I'm known to be a bit of a chronic workaholic, and there was always something I really wanted to get done before the week was over. So I was working later than usual. I went to print a document on what I thought was the printer in my immediate vicinity. The notification on my computer showed that my document was being printed, but I didn't hear any noise or paper coming out of the local printer. I checked the name of the device I selected, and it looked like I accidentally clicked on a printer that was being used on another floor. I sighed. In any normal circumstances, I probably would have just forgotten about the mistake and reprinted the documents on my local printer again. Yeah, I totally would have did that because I do not feel like going downstairs.
Yeah.
But then I don't want to waste
Work
trees
smarter,
either.
not harder.
But then I don't want to waste trees either. But our general management here is quite stingent on print. I guess he can't do what I just said. It's quite stringent on us making sure that all the confidential documents are accounted for. We're not allowed to share department-specific documentation to other departments. I thought. I looked up a map in the inbox showing the location of all the company's printers. Turns out, I accidentally clicked on the printer name Prince Charming.
What?
That's kind of cute. On the 7th floor. Haha, funny name. Off I went. I really should have just let it be. I got into the elevator and rode up to the 7th floor. I emerged onto the mostly empty office area. In case you were wondering, the building I work in is huge. But I've worked there long enough to know my way around it. So I knew the area surrounding the printer relatively well. I made my way through the hallways and eventually spotted the printer with my freshly printed papers minting it. I gave myself a mental pat on the back for continuing my long life streak of following the rules.
I feel like that's something you could have edited out. I'm like editing the story.
She's a writer, y'all. She's editing and critiquing this writing. As I went to grab the papers, I noticed some light buzzing in a meeting room nearby. I looked through the window to see roughly 10 people hanging out around the snack table. In the room was a large, old-looking TV on a cart and rows of some of the most fanciest folding chairs I had ever seen, organized in a neat fashion. I didn't think much of it and started walking off until I heard the door open. Hey, Mr. Bosowitz, right? Jesus, man, you were supposed to start 15 minutes ago. Get in here. What? No, sorry, I think you have the wrong. I don't care why you're late. Just get in here, grab a plate of snacks, and sit down. We're starting soon. Put your phone in the bag, electronic watch in the bag, and anything else on your person that could be used to record audio or video, he responded hastily.
Wait, he's talking to the main character?
Yeah.
I thought the main character was a girl. Maybe because you're reading it?
Oh, yeah, no, the main character is a guy.
Okay.
Something about his sternness and tone short-circuited my brain. For guys like me, there is a third option beyond fight or flight. It's called just go with it until it's over.
What about freeze?
The guys like him don't have that.
Oh, okay.
Also known as the captured rabbit strategy. I put my phone and my watch in my bag. I meekly tried to butt in with another. Sir, I'm not Mr. Bosowicz, but he already pulled me into the room at this point. He closed the door and walked to the front by the TV. I thought about making a break for it, but I decided to just see it through at this point, hoping deep down that whatever was happening was as inconsequential as my job was. Everyone had their snack plates and were heading to their seats. I awkwardly grabbed a muffin from the snack table, put it on a napkin, and took a seat in the very back row. Everybody was spaced out from each other. It didn't seem like any of the folks knew one another. I quietly sighed as the thought of having to sit through some sort of boring informational seminar or irrelevant training session. After a few minutes of everyone settling in, the man who originally brought me into the room started talking. There was an equally serious man standing next to him, and a Secret Service looking fella standing in the corner. I started to wonder to myself why we were going to watch a video off a very old school looking TV. Felt like we were all back in elementary school or something. You know, that's exactly what I'm picturing. The little that rolled in and you're like, yay, movie day. That's what I'm picturing. They're watching this VHS tape on. All right, I just need to do a final run through before we get started, the man at the front said. I know you all read through the emails and signed your releases. I just wanted to recap some ground rules. You're allowed to get up and grab another snack. But beyond that, we want you to pay full attention to the tape once it starts playing. If any of you need to go to the bathroom, we strongly urge you to wait until the presentation is over. If you absolutely have to go, we will pause the tape and one of us will escort you. There's water in the corner by the snacks. Cups are right there as well. Goes without saying, but any discussion of this presentation to folks who do not have top compartment clearance is a breach of your terms of employment, and a breach of your non-disclosure agreement, and a breach of your multiple signed releases.
Breach.
Yeah, girl, we got some more breaches. A breach of the U.S. Criminal Code in the state of redacted, and a breach of the conditions laid out by the Committee for the Protection and Preservation of Human Consciousness.
Breach.
They started dimming the lights. It felt like I had missed any window of opportunity. I had to leave. Too late. That committee name he highlighted sounded way above my clearance level. One of the men at the front of the room pulled out a VH tape from a bag and very slowly and securely put it into the VHS player. He pressed play. I took a deep breath. Those water cooler conversations I had with my coworker were starting to float to the top of my head, but I quelled them. There was probably no need for panic. It was just a stupid government meeting, right? The tape started. The beginning was familiar enough, various disclaimers about being incredibly confidential material, yada yada yada, insignias of relevant organizations, presidential libraries, etc. I've seen a lot of these videos like this already. But wait, that insignia looks strange. Like something was off. I scanned it. Presidential libraries. That's the same eagle. Those same stars. Weird. This time there was a navy blue hand on the left shoulder of the eagle. Did they update the logo? Before I had time to ruminate on it too much, the tape cut to a logo that I had actually never seen before. Committee for the Protection and Preservation of Human Consciousness. The logo was just an image of planet Earth. Fair enough. The video cut to a room that looked familiar to the Congress floor, but with some strange differences. Seats were much more spaced out. The podium looked like it had seen better days, and the whole room looked to be on a pretty steep incline. Everything was in black and white. It looked like there was about 50 people in attendance. It was hard to make out their faces. Everything looked very dated, like the video was from the 1940s or 50s. The tape lingered on this one shot for quite a while. Minutes passed. I noticed what looked to be a choir, all in outfit and perfectly huddled next to each other, standing in one of the corners of the room. It really felt like I shouldn't have been seeing this. None of this was meant for my eyes. After a few more minutes, the tape abruptly cut to an awkward angle video of a man speaking at the podium in the room. It was too zoomed in enough that you couldn't see his eyes or hair. It didn't look at all that professional. I couldn't tell who he was. He spoke. Members of the Committee of the Protection and Preservation of Human Consciousness, I thank you all for coming tonight. We are lucky to be in good graces of our visitors today. Without rehashing our painful history, the tape cut to a camera slowing, panning over the faces of the folks seated in the room. The attendees looked pained, somber. The man continued his speech as the camera continued panning over the committee. We can acknowledge that the journey to this moment has been an arduous one. I am pleased to say that humanity, faced with a dire ultimatum, has come to a majority decision. To our esteemed guests from across the solar system, we thank you for the opportunity you have given us to negotiate with you. I felt adrenaline. We made contact with extraterrestrial life. This was the truth. Maybe like the saying went, the truth would set me free. Before I outline the decision taken by humanity, I want to, from the bottom of my heart, thank the brilliant representatives from all of the nations of the world who came together to ensure that this decision was taken with utmost responsibility, care, and appreciation for our human species. I am aware that this was not a unanimous decision. What did that mean? I felt the sweat on my brow. I felt nausea coming in. I awkwardly and slowly took a bite of the muffin. The tape returned to a now corrected angle of the speaker at the podium. His eyes were visible. They looked strained, like they had seen multiple versions of hell. To the nations who still disagree, he continued, I thank you nonetheless for accepting the majority decision. May this moment, which will be held in secrecy throughout the rest of time, be appreciated as a critical milestone for human civilization. Tonight is not a victory. It is a somber moment, however. We were faced with two options, extinction or accepting the agreement. We have made our choice, and I believe time will show that this was the right decision. What was this? I hereby announce that we accept the agreement provided by our special guests who have chosen to go by the name Redacted. The intergalactic species known as Redacted will allow humanity on planet Earth to continue to populate, grow, and innovate. In return, all governments of the world will honor the promise.
Redacted.
He needed to spit it out. What the was this agreement? We will not be covering every element of this agreement in the session. I will, however, highlight the main points. At this point, the video showed the man at the podium looking down. He was reading off something. For the first time, he looked nervous, scared. I saw some humanity in him. We honor the agreement that Redacted hold the right to visit planet Earth on reoccurring basis. They will be allowed to consume, for the basis of nourishment, a majority of the human population on the planet Earth. After every visit, the remaining humans on Earth will be expected to breed and grow to capacity in time for the next visit. We will acknowledge that we will maintain a parallel history which will be shared with our world's population to ensure that humanity stays motivated to continue existing as a species. This parallel history may suggest that mass extinction events are the result of man-made follies as opposed to the work of the external forces. For the first time, my fight or flight response was actually flight. I wanted to escape, but I didn't know what I'd even be running from. The last visit by Redacted was approximately in the year 1346, and it lasted 7 years. We will continue to honor our parallel history about this event. I just wanted it to end. The next visit, which will not be met with resistance, will be in the year 2028 and will run for 1 full calendar year on Earth, marking a 675-year gap between the last significant visit by the species known as Redacted. This visiting cadence is expected to speed up over time as the remaining humans continue to sharpen their focus on building technology to allow humans to reproduce in a speedy and productive manner. Jesus Christ, our planet is a f***ing farm. I wanted to look away, but I couldn't. The tape cuts away to a large view of a Congress-looking room. The somber committee members in attendance and the members of the choir in the corner, who I could only imagine looked horrified. Where were the visitors? Why couldn't I see them? The camera then panned to a number of large empty seats. The same slow style of video panning as the one that happened earlier with the committee members. No visible entities in the seats, but the seats themselves looked blurry. The man at the podium carried on with his speech as the camera panned on those blurry seats continued. We should acknowledge the privilege of knowing that there is indeed life in the cosmos, that extraterrestrial life has chosen to visit our planet, and that the cycle and balance provided by nature extends beyond the confines of the planet Earth. Much like humanity has found its place on Earth in the food chain, we acknowledge our place in the divine order of things when encountered with beings of greater power, understanding, cognitive function, and evolutionary progression. I shouldn't have stayed late at work. I should have made my identity clear from the beginning. I knew I wasn't supposed to see this. It really looked like the speaker was about to cry. While the progress of consumption is a painful and lengthy one, we respect the trade-off that comes with the preservation of our species. We acknowledge as part of the promise that substitutes for human life in the form of clones, should we discover that technology in the future or other living species, will never function as viable alternatives for nourishment, the speaker continued. I didn't want to know this. This whole thing was way too specific for me. Our final major announcement as part of this agreement is that we accept Redacted as the Great Almighty, as the entities we will now refer to as God. God, as an interstellar species, has revealed itself to us, and thus continued existence of Redacted is now the true priority of the people of our planet. We are blessed to play a part in the continuation of God. In God we trust. Amen.
I ain't saying that too.
Right.
No, man.
Wow, yeah, extinction. The tape then cuts to footage of the choir as the speaker continued. We bless our visitors with this gift, a performance of the national anthem of all major nations of the world. We now commence. An audio of a very loud backtrack of the Star Spangled Banner started playing from the video as my stomach sank. The tape showed footage of the choir singing on top of the track. Not sure if it was because they were scared for their lives, but I could really tell they were singing their hearts out. As they sang, the camera continued to pan over the blurry seats. They finished singing the anthem and suddenly, fast forwarding. Hell, I had forgotten I was still sitting in a room. I had disengaged from the video for a brief moment. I had mentally returned to the present day. This was our world. This was our lives. The man at the front continued fast forwarding through the tape. It looked like they were skipping through the performances of the other national anthems. Of course they were. Only want to hear the Star Spangled Banner, I guess. The fast forwarding went on for a while. Every small while, it looked like a new choir group was entering the Congress-like room to sing a different national anthem. On and on the tape went. I had to fight the urge to pass out. One of the men at the front of our room, standing next to the TV, started speaking. We are legally obligated to get to the end of this tape, but you don't need to look at the rest of it. Please feel free to look down or close your eyes or grab a snack, he said. I noticed the others seated in the room were taking that advice. Most of them decided to look straight down. For some weird reason, I couldn't look away. The fast forwarding progressed. On the tape, it was yet another choir group joining to perform an anthem, and then another, and then another. It looked like we were near the end. The fast forwarding now showed a conversation between the man at the podium and the man who was whispering in his ear. The man at the podium was vehemently shaking his head. The other man continued whispering. This continued on. Eventually, there was a quick moment of the man at the podium begrudgingly nodding. The last few fast-forward moments of the tape remain burned in my memory to this very moment. They were pandemonium. The attendees were sitting in their The attendees were sitting in their chairs, frozen, shivering, crying. The people in the various choir were running around the room in fast motion as blurry spots started covering them and ungodly things started happening to them. Why didn't I look away? If ever there was a time to follow orders. It felt like the whole thing went on for longer than it should have.
This is just like that Twilight Zone episode, Disturbed Men, when they're
except for there's
no cookbook.
Right, they're just eating these people. They're like chasing them and eating them.
Alive?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just like chasing, like I just think they're killing, maybe, I don't know, they might kill them and then eat them, but it said it went on for longer than it should have, so maybe not.
Why would we want to serve them? They eat us.
It's so that they don't wipe out the entire planet.
So
it's either
chopped up a few so they don't kill us.
Yeah, so basically what the agreement is, if we don't want extinction, because it gives two options, extinction or we're basically a farm. So every couple of years they come and they eat us.
Wait, this is be 2028. Crap, I'll be alive.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. I could die in the next 4 years.
So, yeah. Finally, the man at the front of our room stopped the fast forwarding, then pressed play on the tape to cover the very final moments. In the tape, the man at the podium, clearly emotional, spoke his final line. The agreement has been ratified by redacted. Thank you all for attending. The final shot of the video is the full room. The committee members in their seats shivering and crying. The dismantled and bloodied choir members strewn about the room. And the blurry seats with blood smeared on them. Oh my god, so I guess when that guy was whispering in his ear and he was shaking his head, yeah, I guess the creatures wanted to eat the choir. The video then cut away, back to the same insignia on a black backdrop.
I don't think we need to see them getting eaten.
Yeah,
I think we get the gist.
I think, but he said that legally he had to show them that part. So he told, like, the guy who was playing the video told them, like, legally we have to show this part, but you guys can look away or not and all that stuff. But the guy who was the main character did not look away. Everybody else in the room did.
I don't understand why you legally have to show that.
I think,
what kind of law that is like you have to watch this video?
Those people in the room signed all these contracts, remember? So probably in the contract it is they have to legally show the whole video. I
was just saying, like, what is the purpose of showing it? I guess, like, what outcome did you really want from showing it? Like, what positive? Like, I don't feel like this is just negative.
I don't think there is any positivity in this right now. Yeah.
Because I feel like it's weird if you're showing it and not getting nothing out of it.
What you're getting out of it is what's going to happen in 2028. That's what you're getting out of it.
Well, it's 2024, so we should be good.
Girl, we got 4 years, according to them, that they're going to come and eat a lot of the population. Unless they got clones that they're making right now.
That's a lot.
It's said in the beginning. I have to, like, scroll through again to know, like, the exact amount. But it said about... It talked about this thing that happened in 13 something. So, was you paying attention?
Where was that population in 13 something? I'm pretty sure this story is not historically accurate.
Well, if it's top secret clearance, it's not going to be historically accurate for us.
No, I'm just thinking, like, what was the population back then was not as big as it is now. You know?
No, I don't know.
Our population now is 7 billion, but back in 1913.
This is 13 something. But here's the thing. So basically, here's the thing. Everything that we know as history is not true. So
according to the story.
According to the story. So the population back then could have been a lot bigger, but they could have lied and told us it was smaller, so that they didn't have to specifically say how many people really got eaten by these creatures. So we went back, and it said that that they are going to consume the majority of the human race.
There's some fat aliens, man.
Yeah, and the last time they were here was 1346. What happened in 1346? Pause. Okay, so I looked up the year 1346, and that's the Black Death.
I was thinking that, but also if it's every 600 years, should it come?
675.
675.
Yes, and they said that as time progresses, the time in which they're coming is gonna get shorter and shorter. So they're gonna start coming more frequently.
Well, at that point, I'm dead anyway. After 2020.
Hey, I know, when they just consumed the majority of the population.
Yeah, so why should I care?
The presidential libraries, that eagle, those stars, the navy blue hand on the wing of the eagle. The lights in our room turned on. The rest of the night was a blur. The man at the front of the room told us it was best for us to sit for an hour to digest the information. No discussion about the video was allowed to take place. When we were ready to stand, we were allowed to leave and go home. They gave us some pointers on how to accept the information over the coming weeks. Things like taking long walks, exercising, sitting, watching a sitcom, etc.
Bitch, this isn't gonna help.
Yeah, drugs, alcohol.
Like what? Like you're just preparing to die.
I wasn't worried about them realizing that I wasn't supposed to be there. If anything, I felt a strange camaraderie with everyone in the room. We were all truly in the same boat. As soon as I left the building and got in my car, I drove for as long as I could. I would stop for gas, then I kept driving. I stop again, then I kept driving again and again. I'm holed up in a hotel right now. I'm just glad I could get this off my chest. The funny thing is, all I could think about is the length of that stupid tape. While I can't confirm, I feel like they were played straight through without if they were played straight through without fast forwarding, it would only have been 3 hours. I wonder if the 4-hour tape rumor came from the fact that we all needed that extra hour to digest the information. And now you're probably wondering, why don't I name the species that is going to spell humanity's doom throughout the rest of the time? Why am I calling them redacted? Well, as the self-appointed leader of the Committee of the Acknowledgement that we should have just chose extinction, I don't feel the need to honor our captives by calling them by their names. If I don't see you again, Reddit, I appreciate the water cooler conversation.
We could have just told us the name.
Why did the comments just say, I'm stealing Prince Charming for my printer?
To be honest, I felt like it was kind of long. But it's not as long as like the No Way House. No End House. That was longer. But yeah.
Do you not like long, creepy stories?
No, I just think that if it's very long, I'm going to lose details. And I did.
That's crazy because I think when it's long, I like, especially when it's long and it's drawing out like up to the grand like finale.
Yeah.
I'm more intrigued.
Yeah, I'm not.
Anyway, so what did you think?
I also it was okay. It could be scarier, you know. I do think it was creepy and kind of cool that the writer put in, you know, like the Black Plague in it, and then that most of Europe's like population went down, and like, oh my God, the aliens really ate them. It wasn't the flea.
It was the aliens, y'all.
But I really wish they did name the aliens and it'd be like connected to something else that was like creepy. Like, I don't know. But like,
yeah, I'm confused. Like, what do you mean?
Like, I was saying like what their name was, the Illuminati or something like that. Like something okay, like creepy, you know, like something that we're familiar with but don't know like that
us the readers are familiar with.
Yeah, that we're familiar but don't know it's a threat until they're like, oh crap, it's
that would have been good if he would have used the name as the Illuminati, because then like the whole Illuminati rumor would make a lot of sense. I mean, it would make a lot of sense with powerful people like being involved in it, and the people maybe involved would be the aliens that are the powerful people, the quote unquote god. Well, they're not people, the species.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was pretty creepy. I love that detail of putting the historical fact of 1342 in there, because that really was like, oh, that's kind of creepy. But yeah, I thought it was good.
So I'll make it a 32 before I die. Yay!
What's his name? Andrew Basiago, I think, is supposed to run for president because he can time travel. But we'll get into that conspiracy later.
Talk about the aliens about to eat us?
No, he did not. He just talked about us having quote unquote teleportation and being able to go back in time. But we will definitely dive into that conspiracy theory another time this year.
But the teleportation is gonna be a problem because I'll be teleporting to Disneyland for free. They don't need like
I don't know
to block our teleportation.
I don't know. The teleportation thing was kind of like in Stargate when they have that gate thing and you go through it like that. That's what he's trying to say, like the teleportation machine is.
I actually don't like that movie Stargate.
Yeah, they also have creatures in there, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've made it to the end.
You must really like the sounds of our high-pitched voices and quirky commentary.
You might as well like and subscribe to our channel and hit that bell to be notified every time we drop new content. If you want to follow our social medias, they will be linked in the description box below.
Bye.
Peace. Happy National Women's History Month. And human too, because those aliens is coming in 2028.